Hi everybody, I'm Dave Froehlich. Thanks for watching this latest edition of the Fox 7 Austin CrimeWatch digital exclusive. We're taking a look at some of the crime stories that have made headlines recently in Austin and Central Texas. A University of Texas graduate student and his wife were on their way to Chile last summer, but they lost contact with their family in Mexico. And what happened to them is still a mystery. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen has more.
Frank Guzman and his wife, Caroline Katba, love to travel.
They're very adventurous people.
Frank is a PhD student at UT Austin, and last summer they started a 2-month road trip to Chile, where he was going to do research. Frank's sister, Elizabeth Guzman, lives in California.
What brought them happiness the most was the fact that they had freedom to travel and to check out new places and learn about new people.
They started the journey on July 15th, 2024, going through Mexico, and there was constant communication. But a week later, on July 22nd, they went offline, not necessarily unusual at first due to their travels. In September, Frank's professor contacted the family, saying he hadn't shown up for class online. That's when the worry started and the headache of figuring out which authorities could help.
It felt like a lifetime's worth of emotions because it was like borderline impossible to open a case there.
Elizabeth says their last known location was Coatzacoalcos, Veracruz, Mexico. She says she's hit dead ends when trying to get help from the university, the FBI, and U.S. Embassy, since there's no indication they were involved in a drug trade. After jumping through lots of hoops, they finally got an investigator on the case in Coatzacoalcos. Frank is also listed as missing through Texas DPS. Elizabeth says now she's trying to get an attorney to coordinate with U.S. and Mexican agencies and help access Frank and Caroline's phone and bank information.
That's really that's the big thing that we need in order to accurately find them wherever they are.
As we approach 6 months since their disappearance.
It's gotten easier, just not better. Ideally, it would be better if they came back.
Elizabeth hopes the attention can stay on their case.
I think they deserve that because they're good people, and I think they should be home.
Angela Shen, Fox 7 Austin News.
U.S. Marshals have arrested a man accused of fatally stabbing a homeless woman in East Austin. 32-year-old Frank Bonner Jr. is charged with the first-degree murder of Kelly Measle. Authorities arrested Bonner without incident on January 16th at a bus stop near the murder scene. Measle's body was found January 9th in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Manor Road.
She was, a very caring, joyful person. She was always laughing when they sleep. I hope they think about it. I hope they have nightmares of what they did to my sister.
Bonner is currently booked in the Travis County Jail. Austin police are investigating an early morning homicide at a gas station parking lot in downtown. Here's more on that story from Fox 7 Austin's Jenna King.
APD says that investigation is still in its very early stages, but we do know one man is dead after police say they found him with possible gunshot wounds at a gas station on East 7th Street. This was the scene at the Citgo gas station on East 7th Street in downtown Austin early Saturday morning. The Austin Police Department says around 3 a.m., officers responded to a call of a man armed with a gun in the parking lot.
Upon arrival, officers located a male inside a vehicle in the parking lot with obvious signs of trauma to the body.
Life-saving measures were attempted by officers until Austin Travis County EMS arrived on scene. Jeremy Fisher with the Austin Police Department says the man was sent to a local hospital where he later died, but no further information was given on who the man was.
Very early in the preliminary stages, we do have some witnesses that have come forward. They're being interviewed right now.
APD says a person was detained at the scene, but is not in police custody. Footage of the area is being reviewed, and witnesses are also being interviewed.
Investigators believe this to be an isolated incident, no ongoing threat to the public.
This is being investigated as Austin's third homicide of 2025. Anyone with additional information is asked to contact APD's homicide tip line or Crime Stoppers. We'll have that information on our website. So I'm reporting at APD, Jenna King, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police and the city's parks department are cracking down on car burglaries. If you visit Pease Park, you might notice signs warning you about car break-ins, but there's also a sign targeting potential criminals. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen has the details.
Remnants of glass in the parking lot at Pease Park are a sign of car break-ins, and there are lots of literal signs warning people of the fact. 3 days without car break-in. Bait car may be in parking lot, steal one, go to jail, and hide your things, lock your car, and take your keys. Allison Johnson with the Pease Park Conservancy says break-ins typically happen when the park is crowded and there's a valuable in sight in a car.
Our signage is really just to keep people informed on the best way that they can participate in preventing these break-ins. So we want people to know it's happening.
A police car also sits in the parking lot.
It seems to be here on and off, and then I know they're patrolling the area as well. We're in touch with APD and appreciate the efforts they're making to try to curtail this.
One of those efforts, bait car signage. APD says they're not sharing details of the program so it stays successful.
It's an interesting strategy.
It's interesting having that there. Like maybe that would make me think twice about not taking something, but I don't know. I can't really get into the mindset of a person who's doing that completely.
Johnson says they can go weeks without a break-in, but it's a repeated pattern.
It seems to come in waves and then it goes away and we don't have any break-ins and then it comes back.
She says they base this number on reports from their staff.
We have a park operations team. They keep an eye out and they know when things happen.
APD crime data shows in the past 5 years there have been 108 reports of thefts and vehicle burglaries at the Pease Park address. 311 says they've received 69 reports of vehicle burglaries in that same time frame.
If you do have a break-in, to report it to 311 or 911, and that helps the city keep track of the number of incidents that are happening in different locations.
Angela Shen, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police are looking for a man who pistol whipped a woman during a robbery. Happened in December at the Tornado Bus Company on Ben White near I-35. Police say this man walked into the store demanding cash. He held a woman who worked there at gunpoint before punching her and hitting her with his gun. He took off with an undisclosed amount of cash, heading eastbound on Ben White. If you recognize this suspect at all, you're asked to please call Austin Police. New data shows Austin Police have responded to thousands of mental health calls in recent years. Meredith Aldis spoke with an Austin Police Union member and a community organization critical of police and how they feel mental health calls should be handled.
I believe the Austin Police Department must stop responding to mental health calls.
A message from the Austin Police Association president after now former police officer Christopher Taylor was sentenced to 2 years in prison for the 2019 death of Morris Da Silva during a mental health crisis.
We have never claimed to be mental health experts, yet we are continually scrutinized for our handling of these situations.
Since the Austin Justice Coalition's inception, the group has called for community alternatives to policing.
I think as an officer, if I'm trained to go weapon first in an instance where I think my life is in jeopardy, as much as I hate that, I can empathize with Chris Taylor. If I'm thinking that way, but the fact that we send people that we train to really just put out a fire at all costs, the fact that we send them first and foremost to these type of situations, I think is a huge red flag.
Currently, when someone calls 911, they're given 4 options.
Austin 911, do you need police, fire, EMS, or mental health services?
If the caller says mental health services, an initial assessment is done to ensure there isn't a public safety issue, and then they're transferred to one of the 19 integral care clinicians, something that wasn't available during the 2019 Da Silva shooting.
I absolutely think this person would be alive, and I think many other people would be alive.
An integral care representative says the clinicians are able to de-escalate situations, provide resources and emotional support, and make a safety plan with the caller. If needed, they can deploy their expanded mobile crisis outreach team, which is usually a clinician and a peer support. In fiscal year 2024, the call center clinicians handled almost 5,000 calls. 87% of those calls were resolved without sending them back to police.
There are people that they give a very huge portion of their lives to learn how to handle people that are going through mental duress, handle people that are going through some type of mental breakdown, as opposed to a cop who, out of 6 months of training, if they're lucky, they'll get 40 or maybe 120 hours.
Not all mental health calls for service, though, are vetted through clinicians. Austin Police reports responding to anywhere from about 34,000 to almost 52,000 mental health calls for service each year since 2020. In that time, the Austin Police Department says there were no instances of deadly force noted for any identified mental health calls for service.
For it to be zero, I think that's a lack of being able to identify and actually record accurately.
The Austin police chief says they will continue to respond, saying in part, quote, "We must prevent harm to all Austin community members, including our responding officers. Moving forward, we'll be working hard to develop a holistic response to persons experiencing a mental health crisis."
I think the biggest thing is just, again, opening up the box of public safety to more than just police, giving community groups the funding they need to really ramp up and be able to provide service to not only like little pockets of communities, but to the city as a whole.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch.
Well, for more Crime Watch stories, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and click on the Crime Watch section at the top of the page. Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin, News at 9. You can also watch our Fox Local mobile app and connected TV apps. They're free to download. You can watch on your phone as well as on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel. We appreciate you watching this edition of the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive.